My name is Hafiz Oyetoro. This is Mid Morning Show. Keep watching Mid Morning Show.
I always like that face.
Hello.
Hello. And that's what it does. You know, that's the way it sounds in the movies.
Yeah.
You know, and it's become quite endearing. What you just expect when you see his character.
Hello.
Hello.
It's
Keep watching Mid Morning Show.
Mid-morning show, like, you got to keep watching the
Is
Mid-morning show.
it the one? There was one he said, smile.
Smile.
So keep smiling.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
It's a good one.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on the program, Mid Morning Show, right here on BCOS television. I am Idowu Shekoni and it's my pleasure to welcome you.
And I am Adituke Olaleye. It's another Monday and they say that success is not built in a day, that every successful week starts with a productive Monday. So how are you going to make your Monday productive? I think we'll start with a smile on the face.
Yes, I mean, perhaps that will diffuse some pent-up issues.
Then tension within
One
you.
of the reasons a lot of people don't make profitable use of Mondays is because they have a whole lot piled up from the previous days. Weekend does not solve the problem for some people.
Nope.
So if you come into Monday with all the baggages you've got, oh God, you're going to be weighed down.
There's another one. For every Sunday, if you don't have a good night rest, it affects your Monday.
It does.
It does affect the Monday.
I think that maybe the solution is think things through during the weekend, okay? And then sort it out. Put them in order. This comes first. This follows. Then go sleep. When you wake up, start with number one.
So now that it's Monday, it's a new fresh beginning and a new start. So please put a smile on your face. And if you feel that anyone around you is feeling gloomy or gloomy, please put a smile on that person's face. So don't just keep the smile to you. Transcend the smile to everyone around you.
Smile,
Like
they say, is contagious.
Yes, even we are smiling.
Yeah. And you don't lose anything when you smile.
No.
You don't lose anything, but you gain everything.
You gain a whole lot. Your mind is at rest. Your entire body, psychology, everything is new. So please, let's put that smile on our face and also reach out to everyone around us. Like we do, conversation right here on Mondays is to shaping our minds, and bring up meaningful conversation.
Yes.
And that's what we do every Mondays on the Mid-Morning Show.
And talking about meaningful conversations, for quite a while now, there's been a lot of talk about security, insecurity, who's supposed to do what, the blames keep going around, and most of the things you will hear, people focus more on government and security agencies.
You know that question is, what is the government doing? That's the question. And people want to, go out and come in with safety, and the next thing you hear is, may God be with you. There's a
Yes.
And there's
and that's that's pregnant.
And you're back home and like, wow, thank God. There's a whole lot in that conversation. Please don't go anywhere. Where are you going? Come back home. There's a whole lot that goes around right now when it comes to security issues. And forgetting that security might actually begin even before any arrest comes up.
And you know what's funny? I've said this is funny because it's really it's not supposed to be happening, but it is happening.
Yeah.
There are people who capitalize on the situation to, stir up fear. They just go about and say, okay, these people they are in the neighborhood. They just say that. You ask them, is this evidence-based?
They have videos to back it up. And that's why the police keeps on saying unverified
it's making the situation worse.
We should not push it out there, and we should stop sharing and saying, oh, we got this, because it's not verified.
You are part of the problem if you share. Because through you, it goes viral, and you are creating unnecessary fear.
Yeah.
People can act better when they're not so afraid. That's the reality.
But the reality is that the fear is there.
Fear is there, but let the fear be grounded in reality.
Don't
make people afraid. About things you can't verify.
Indeed. And our topic today is security beyond the uniform. Are we going to put the security matters all in the hands of the police and security operative?
Or the government.
Or even the government? What of we as the citizens? What part do we play
in
ensuring that we have safer communities around us?
It's clear that we oftentimes want to blame security agencies when something happens very close to you, but you just say, well, you overlook it. Okay.
It's not my business.
And that is an opportunity, and those are gaps. And the gap is an opportunity for something terrible to happen when you don't talk about it. But Nigerians would say, we want to, but when we do, security agencies, can they be trusted? There's a whole lot
There's
to
a
this
whole lot
conversation.
we're going to be talking
and that's
about
why
today.
We have someone who is just a round peg in the round hole. Because we're thinking about this, we're like, okay, who can we talk to? I mean, someone who has not just hearsay, but concrete information that can be backed up with valid data. And that's who we have with us this morning. Don't worry, we're going to take this break. When we return, we'll introduce our guest and we'll get right to the conversation. It's the Mid-Morning Show, the Monday edition. Don't go anywhere.
We cannot finish talking about what our solution to be. But the starting of corruption is from home. How you believe with your children is how they will grow on. That's the first thing. That repetition, explanation. You call your children from the grassroots, telling them this is this, this is this, this is what is killing somebody, this is what's affecting somebody in the future and his life. That's from the grassroots. Because corruption, where we go to area of corruption, for example now, if you call your child, telling that, go and do this work, it's your duty to send your child out to do something for you. But at the same time, where you may promise that if you do this, I'll do this one for you. Or I send you somewhere where returning, you're returning, I give you this or that. It's a similar thing to corruption. When a child is in school, I will tell the child that try to look after your reading, your books and everything. Then he performs. That one is a pledge, it's not a corruption. Something requested before doing, it's open as corruption. But what you give after you have done, it looks and it says that that's your intentive mind to do that. I appreciate what you have done. That's the thing. And the faithfulness of the husband and wife is root that everything we lay on. So I do advise everybody to handle his house tightly with a faithful mind for the future of his children.
In Nigeria, but world like that, is an endemic problem which has crept into the society, be it from the scratch or into the governmental institutions. So if we are to fight corruption in this country, we have to do a lot of things, and we have to go a long way fighting the corruption. Because corruption in Nigeria has gone beyond the level one can take, can be scrapped easily. It has become a generational corruption. It has become an institutional corruption that cannot be easily removed or checked, except that each and every one comes on board and they resolve to fight the corruption. Individuals cannot fight corruption. Be it government alone cannot fight corruption. Be it private or governmental. Corruption is a system, especially in this country of ours, that has crept into the depth of every home. Even in families, you find corruption. Let alone companies, institutions, organizations, governmental institution to say. This is an endemic. It's like a problem. It's like a disease that has spread and which needs to be cured. So it's so contagious that it has affected many people in this country. So fighting corruption, in a nutshell, everybody has to resolve in fighting the corruption. Not only government, not only this or that, not parties. Can't single out an individual to fight corruption in this country. It's an endemic problem, and it's a systematic problem. It is systemic. And if someone is systemic, you need to find the roots of the cause, and define a means of curbing that system or of curbing that problem. Just like someone who is ill, you see, doctor will first diagnose. So let's go to problem. Diagnosing. After diagnosing, or even in Nigeria, they say troubleshooting. In medicine, they say diagnose. In Nigeria, they say troubleshoot. Because what are the causes? What are the problems? Then you analyze. What are the likely solutions to these problems? So from there, probably we can get it right. But this has gone beyond a one-man person or governmental or institution. It's a systemic problem that everybody has to fight. Because before a country of ours can transform from this endemic problem, it is generational. Don't think it's a system of, or it's an issue of 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years. No, it's systemic. So it has to take generation. Because presently, even the lowest generation in this country now, they're into corruption. Corruption is in facets, not only give me bribe or this, no. It's gone beyond that. Even in cheating. So it's a systemic that generation has to live with it. Okay, this is the right thing to do. This is the normal thing. This is not the normal thing. This is the right thing. You don't need to cheat anybody or tell anybody to do the right thing. He will do it by himself because this is the right. Or he grows as a child, as he grows up, he grows to learn the right thing in the society, not use, not corruption, use. So it's a systemic. At the same time, everybody has to be prayerful. Everybody has to be prayerful too. Why I mentioned the issue of personality and individual is this. No system can be changed except the people change. The country cannot be changed except we change. You see, God has created this country for us. Allah gave us this health. He made this good. Don't cause mischievous on the head when you have made it pure for you. But people change it to this bad. In a nutshell, there's a verse in the Quran where Allah says that in Allah la yughayyiru ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will not change the condition of a set of people unless they change what is in themselves. Unless everybody is rough to change for good. Then we should expect that God will also be with us in this regard.
Once again, and thank you very much for staying tuned. It's the mid-morning show here on BCOS television. Very insightful and poignant point.
When it comes to corruption.
He said something. He said Nigerians, when it comes to corruption, it's not something an individual can do.
Yeah.
It seems to be saying that government has to lead the way. And the
Well,
people
every
should
other
follow.
person follows. But at the end of the day, I believe individuals should make a choice. Do they want to be bad? Or do they want to be good?
Well, I feel, the government creates the structure.
Okay.
Okay, but people would have to make use of the structure.
To make the structure
And
work.
Nigerians, I just know, there's just been this sort of, what you call mistrust between the people and the government.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whatever government does, is people don't own it.
No, they don't. There's always questions.
Yes.
Oh, the government is going to do this. They say, I don't think it will last.
Exactly. So
There's this excuse we give ourselves as individuals. Even when the government is willing to do something, then we give the government excuse.
There is a whole lot. When it comes to corruption, as every other thing, we'll talk about security today. It seems that the attention is always on the government. But this morning we're saying, let's turn the lens around and focus it on us as individuals.
Yeah.
What should we be doing? Is this something we should be doing that we are not doing? Is this all about the government? When we say that, when we say the people or the government, who are we talking about? Exactly. So today we're looking at a topic, security beyond the uniform. Like I rightly told you before we went on that break, we have a round peg in a round hole. This is a topic that is at the very top of our hearts, and we really would want to see a good resolution that will translate to society becoming better in this regard. And this morning we've got Professor Benjamin Aluko, who is Secretary General and Fellow, Society for Peace Studies and Practice. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, thank you. Well, let me correct you before we take off.
Okay, sir.
I'm actually the president of the society.
Okay. President.
The international president of the society. Because we are talking about a society, that goes beyond the shores of this country.
Sure.
So I'm the international president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that,
Apologies
sir.
for that. Okay, so Professor Benjamin, Aluko, that's President, Society for
International
Peace
President,
Studies
yeah.
and Practice.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Thank you for having me.
so let's get right to it. When we talk about security, in Nigeria, or maybe I should say security itself as a concept, what exactly does it mean, and where does the responsibility fall when you talk about the citizens and the government?
Well, I think I should start by commending the organization for this kind of initiative. Security beyond beyond the uniform. This is a very wonderful intervention, especially at a period like this. You understand, when things are really bad with respect to the issue of security. Having said that, let me also try and provide some kind of background so that our people watching may be able to appreciate what we are actually talking about here. Now, when you are talking about a polity, there are two principal actors in a polity: the state and the society. The state, you're talking about the government. And then the society, you're talking about you and I. Okay? Now, it is very clear. Now, when the state came into being, it was about security of the people. Right? So when you're talking about state today, it is about human security, whether from the dimension of physical, economic, environmental, or that. It is about providing security. At the beginning of time, what we call the state of nature, we lost our freedom to the state in exchange for security. The state of nature was governed by might is right.
Yes.
Right? But we now have a state where the state now make rules that govern us. You have lost your security, I have lost your liberty to do whatever you like to the state, so that the state can provide security. But as it were, it is obvious that the state, institutions have been overwhelmed. And so the state can no longer perform, the way one would have loved the state to perform. And that is why all over today, it is banditry, it is kidnapping, it is armed robbery, it is all kind of, it is an indication that the state has failed. So we need to acknowledge that fact, that the state has failed in terms of security. Now we have the other segment of a polity, which is the society. It is now our responsibility to see how we can strengthen the capacity of the society to begin to respond. Because we now have a state where you are more often than not on your own. You understand? So we should now begin to think outside the box, in terms of how do we protect ourselves. But you see, the danger is this: you cannot do that effectively without the interaction of the state, right? But you find ourselves in a situation whereby there is what we call trust deficit between the society, the people, and the state. So when you find that kind of scenario, it is usually very difficult for security to be effectively managed. And that is what is happening now. Because you find a situation whereby I've heard stories of, when kidnappers, when they do their thing, that you find security agencies even taking a cut from that. That may be true. But for me, it is not true. Because I relate with security agencies. I train this personnel. Yes, you cannot deny the fact that we have some bad, black sheep among them. But largely, these are men of integrity. These are men who are committed to their work. But the reality of it is that they can no longer provide effective security. And that is why what you are doing here, beyond the uniform. When you say beyond the uniform, you are referring to the uniform as the state. And then beyond is the society. You understand? I don't know whether I've made myself clear enough. So you have thrown the ball back to the society, that we got to wake up. We got to do something. But the takeoff point for that is, how do we rebuild public trust in the institution of the state? You know, because there is no way you can provide effective security without a very serious interaction with the state. If you apprehend criminals, kidnappers, you still hand them over to the state for whatever. You understand? So that brings us to the basics. The issue of state-society relationship. You know, that is, we produce results, effective results for security by there. And the takeoff point is, how do we rebuild trust in state institutions? We have lost trust in state institutions, you know, so much so that, look, you don't want to share evil information, you know, because you are not too sure of, you know, the person you are sharing information with, you know, because people have seen cases of, oh, I shared information and this happened and then somehow and all that and all that. You understand?
Well, okay, sorry. I wanted to say, you mentioned something that the state is overwhelmed.
Oh, clearly,
So
it's obvious.
what are those things that is actually making the state so overwhelmed that security seems to be a very big issue now?
Thank you very much. You see, the matter didn't start today. There is what we call early warning and early response in peace studies. Here, you know, early warning and early response. Now, we have had signals, we have had the warnings over time. But the issue of state response to such warnings. You see, when it comes to security management, we are more on the side of reacting to the situation rather than preventing the situation. You know, today we are all running etasketa to recover the children, the teachers taken out to the local government. You know, sir. But the question is, what did we do before we got to that stage? Today, we're talking about terrorism, Boko Haram insurgency, blah, 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 in the north and all that. But we knew we would get to this point, you know, except we are deceiving ourselves. When you had a lot of young boys on the streets in the north, holding bow and begging for money, I mean, you would know that it is, we are just waiting for a town bomb. You will know that one day, these people will turn to against the society. And that is what we are experiencing now. So we saw all these things, you know. I mean, if you come down to the southwest, you begin to look at some indices, you know, to establish what is happening now.